And we're live.
Live.
I didn't do the 3, 2, and 1.
Hold on, I gotta
do the comments here. Okay.
Why am I getting notification noises?
Oh.
I shouldn't be doing that.
That shouldn't be happening. That's no good. But why is it not showing our names? Hold on here. Isn't it making like a tree and leave?
No, that's the funny part about it.
That's not funny. That's like kind of stupid.
Wait, it's from Back to the Future.
Oh, I don't recall that.
Well, you should.
Wow.
You should recall that.
But I don't. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us this week for the discussion portion of this upcoming Tuesday Supernatural Tendencies podcast. I like this story. The giant space brain. Palos Verdes, California.
Yeah. Hey.
You're just not into this. You're not into this.
We just dropped.
Huh?
We just dropped internet.
Uh-oh, I'm still going. Oh, I think you're locked up. You're locked up. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties.
Can they still hear me? Well, they should be able to hear me because they're going through your...
Yeah, they should.
No, I have my own. The podcast will hear me, but... What do you keep trying to hand me the Ethernet cable?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
I don't know.
And we keep talking about
Hi, Trista. My sister.
Oh, hey, George.
Hey, George.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but...
Trista, can you hear us? We're having technical difficulties, and I can't talk today. She said there's a huge, huge, huge echo.
Okay.
Maybe move this up a little bit.
Is the echo better now?
Is it? Karen says, can hear you.
Both of us, Karen? Can you hear both of us?
Oscar. I can hear you both just with an echo. I wonder why the echo is so bad.
My mic might be turned up too loud. I don't know. Okay. This may be...
Sorry, guys. Still working out the bugs.
You gotta add me in.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Better? Any better? Can you hear me? Is there an echo?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can't see any comments.
No. Should be able to see them.
What up, Shane Peterson? Thanks for joining us. We're having technical difficulties. Hang out or don't.
Karen says no echoes here.
Karen doesn't have one now. Can you still hear me? Oh, maybe if I put on the comments. There we go.
He's an idiot.
Echoes any better, Trista?
Karen says yes.
There's still echoes, or the echoes are better? Maybe I should have.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now?
We didn't have a chance to. Still echoing bad.
What the heck?
All right. I don't know how to fix this because we didn't do a test run this week. So
sorry, guys. Karen says, "Dude, you echo." Is it on his end, or are we both echoing? Sorry, guys. We'll get this worked out here in a second. Hopefully. You with your awesome Kevin Messenger.
Is this any better? Oh, man.
Trust says, yeah, it was like this would be great.
I can't hear it at all. You know, I don't know if I do
that.
this.
It's both. It's both.
Okay. We still echoing now? Still getting echoes.
Echo, echo, echo. Hello.
Echo should be gone now.
Hopefully the echo is gone.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to hear me.
Karen says, now both and worse. What the hell?
Does better now. All right, well. I don't have no idea what's going on right now. So I don't know.
Trista says fixed it.
Yeah, I fixed it. But am I very loud? Because I think I'm being picked up by another microphone. Because this microphone shouldn't be fed into the video. I probably have a lag now for my voice in my video. All right. Well,
Trista says it's better on my end.
We're just gonna go with it. I guess.
Yeah, let's go with it. Let's go with it.
All right. Well, here we are. Anyway, no, I wasn't paying attention because I didn't want to pay attention. I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to get everything worked out. Which my idea of having another microphone to help with my audio and visual sync apparently causes echoes. So
weird.
I was hoping. No, it's not weird. It makes sense because that's the initial issue. But I thought since the camera you used the one time with the onboard.
Right, I can't see you right here. I'm just going to move this. Cable is in my way. Okay.
Hear me clearly now. This doesn't make any sense.
I can hear you both clearly.
But okay.
Okay. Here we are.
Here we are.
Episode 25.
Figuring out technical difficulties.
Yes. Thanks, guys, for joining us. So super cool story. Super cool.
Space brains?
Space brains.
Floating space brains.
Yes. 1971.
Yeah.
Good year.
Yeah.
Very good year.
Are we going to end the witty banter and start into the podcast, or how's this working?
Hold on here. I have to this has been, oh my God, I can't even find it now. This has just been a terrible. I'm just having a bad day. Really. Hold on here. Everybody's like, oh, Christy, what's wrong with you?
Hi, Tina. Thank you for joining us.
I got it. I finally found it.
Jennifer's back this week. She didn't learn her lesson for the past 2.
Jennifer will get you.
I deserve it.
Why do I just have the feeling you're going to make this episode hard on me?
I don't know. Part of the episode?
Well, no, I got to wait for it to upload.
Interesting.
Good thing you can cut this out.
Do you like the mic flags that we have?
I do, but I'm really digging that jersey. Is what I'm really digging.
Like Kevin Smith
if
jersey?
You are a Kevin Smith fan, which I am, Jay and Silent Bob rule.
Yeah, 37.
Yeah, where did you get that at?
I got it at the Jay and Silent Bob Secret Stash in Red Bank, New Jersey.
Red Bank.
Yep, I got to meet Walt Flanagan.
You so suck.
Yeah, there's pictures.
There's pictures.
Just pictures.
There's pictures. Okay, I guess we're ready to get started.
You good?
Here we go.
Ta-da.
It could possibly be the coronavirus. I'm just saying.
So you guys came in halfway into that conversation.
I have a scratchy throat.
It is now the coronavirus.
And some type of nasal thing going on.
Anyway.
I'm just saying it's a possibility. It is a distinct possibility.
Just like the H1N1 and the swine flu and the bird flu.
SARS. Didn't they have a MERS, 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 something like that?
I lose track.
Yeah.
Of the pandemics we are scheduled to have.
Well, and then the doctor in China that identified this virus, then he died.
From the virus?
Yeah. Didn't you see his interview before he died?
No.
Yeah. And he's like, I was trying to tell everybody and they were like, shut up. Well, that's what they did.
Oh, that was a yawn. Woo! That was uncontrollable.
And then he died.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for this week's installment of the Supernatural Tendencies podcast, where we have technical difficulties aplenty. We'll
get it right eventually. You're going to work out the bugs.
Jennifer thinks I'm mean.
Well, you are mean.
I hold people to a higher standard than most other people hold other people to. So,
no, that means you hold me to a higher standard.
Yes.
I'm always screwing things up.
Yes.
We won't even go into that right now.
Yes. Making like a tree and getting out of here is my tag.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's making like a tree and leave.
That's the way the
Leaves.
saying, That's the way the saying is supposed to go. But in Back to the Future, he doesn't say that.
I don't
So it makes it funny.
I don't think it's funny.
That's because you don't have humor.
No, see, you got to go and say something like that because I have a great sense of humor.
You hang out with your cats and your dogs all day.
They appreciate my humor.
Anyway, the giant, not even giant, floating space brains of Palos Verdes today.
California, yeah, which I didn't know where that was. Palos Verdes Peninsula.
Can you say that one more time?
Peninsula.
Why are you having such?
I don't know.
You sound like a caricature right now.
Wow. I agree with Trista. Trista says to hell with those biological warfare germs. That's what I thought too. Okay, now we're gonna sink into conspiracy theories because we're sick enough on a daily. No kidding. Had this thing going on. It could possibly. You don't know. You are not a medical doctor.
I'm not
Alex.
a doctor. I'm gonna go ahead and share these to a couple groups real quick. I should have done that before, but I did not, so I'm gonna do it now real quick.
So I just think this is a really cool case. To give you guys a little background, it happened in 1971. So you have these two guys, John Hodges and Peter Rodriguez, two guys in their late 20s, just two normal guys. And they lived in the same neighborhood and they had been friends since childhood. So anyway, they are over visiting a mutual friend who shall remain nameless, I guess, because I never did find that out. But anyway, and it's like 2 a.m. and they decide, okay, we're going to head home. So they go out to the driveway and they get in Mr. Hodges's car and pull out of the driveway, turn on the headlights, and right there in the middle of the road are these two space brain floating orb things.
Can we just take a moment?
With a red eye right in the...
Can we just take a moment real quick?
Blammo. Shablamo, right in the middle of the forehead.
So they backed out of the driveway.
Yeah, turn their lights on.
Turn their headlights.
Yeah. Towards
the center of the road, obviously, because we're going to be moving forward.
Yeah.
And in the vehicle's headlights, they see literally floating brains.
Yeah.
Okay. One the size of a softball.
Yeah. And the other kind of had like a human torso form.
So it was a brain with a torso form without like the skull head meat.
I don't know.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I didn't read that anywhere. I just saw those two floating brains. They had like this red mist around them.
Yeah. With a mist around them. They have the red eye.
With a single red eye. Like
like
cycloptic
situation. Yeah.
Now,
there's always a red eye.
My issue with this is, it's not even really an issue, but the first thing that came to mind
I knew you were going to have an issue.
The movie Mars Attacks. Did anybody ever see the movie Mars Attacks?
Mm-mm.
No, it came out like 1997.
I mean, I know of the movie, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Wasn't Jack Nicholson in that?
It was like like
a parody kind of thing.
Just A-listers just peppered throughout the whole thing. Just A-listers peppering the whole thing. And it was supposed to be like a parody of like the 1950s invasion movie.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So it's supposed to be over the top and corny. That was the point of the movie. But all these aliens had that's right. Their heads were their brains. Like it looked like a brain, right?
Yeah.
So like they had their face and then they had their head that looked like a brain. Gotcha. So this was the first thing I thought of, was just these floating brains going ack, 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 ack.
That's terrifying.
Because that was the noise they made. So
well, that would be terrifying. I mean, like, what would you do?
What would they be going? Ack, 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 ack?
Possibly. I don't think they made noise.
Yeah, no.
No, yeah.
Okay.
But that would definitely bump up the terrifying level.
Yeah, because that noise.
Because if you're just there, that's one thing. Like, oh my god. But if you're going ack, 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 or you're making some kind of, I don't know, disturbing noise, like that ups the terrifying level. Takes it. Don't you? Am I wrong? Do you guys feel that way? Like, I can't be wrong.
Anyway, so they see these brains. They see these brains, and they like vanish.
Yeah.
Like dematerialize.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god.
Away.
Yeah, they yeah.
So
and to note though, these things just kind of materialized. They didn't like walk I guess their brains, they wouldn't have legs, or feet, but they didn't like glide it, like they just manifested. They just materialized. Yeah. Trista says, like a Simpsons episode. And there have been so many things like that kind of freaks me out. It's like things will happen and you look back and it was an episode of The Simpsons, you know.
No,
You haven't heard that whole thing?
I have. Most of them are photoshopped.
Wow, I still think it's creepy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So
So they freak out. Sorry.
carry on.
Carry on.
I'm trying now. Oh, you take a drink of water.
I'm
when
going to
you can't
splash
carry
with my
on.
water. And I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, carry on.
I'm going to punch you. No. Okay. So they flip out. They flip out. And then Hodges goes to take Rodriguez home.
Okay.
You can take it from here.
Oh, I can take. Let me take the story.
Yeah.
Here we go. So they end up going home, and what they end up dropping Hodges off, I believe, was it?
Rodriguez drops
Yeah.
Hodges off.
So Hodges drops Rodriguez off, and he gets home, and he, I think after that, just everything just kind of like goes away, right? Anything, the night just kind of ends, and so, and now I'm kind of confused.
Well, don't forget the missing time.
So it just kind of ends. So wait, did the missing time happen before he went into the regression?
Yeah, once he arrived at his house, this should have been a 10-15 minute trip.
Yeah.
You know, from the time they leave this other friend's house, he drops Rodriguez off, he goes home, 10-15 minutes tops. It ended up being 2.5 hours. So, what the hell, right? I just lost 2.5 hours. Well, I guess 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Hold on, let me take a second. We have a comment from Jacob.
Oh, I can't see it. Hi,
He says,
Carlene.
He says, I asked him to play this over the speakers at Planet Fitness. They stared at me. So thanks, Jake, for asking for that, but I understand how they would just stare at you. Go ahead. So time loss.
That hurts Planet Fitness.
So we have time loss.
Yeah, time loss. Where the hell did this 2 hours and 15 minutes go?
Yeah.
So he starts like racking his brain, like becoming obsessed with figuring out what happened during that 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Because it should have been a relatively short
time.
Yeah. And then now it took a long time.
Yeah.
And I lost Chad again. So he starts getting obsessed over this, right? And he starts trying to think of what happened, and then he ends up 5 years later going and accepting like hypnosis regression. Yeah,
because he's at his wit's end. So let's try hypnosis and see if we can remember something that way.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was reading Trista's comment. Okay, so last night I seen an episode of The Twilight Zone that had 9 feet tall aliens with a huge brain that spoke telepathically. Then you do this episode. What a trip. That is crazy. Man, some of those old episodes of The Twilight Zone, those really creep me out.
Those are good ones.
They are good. They are, but they kind of creep me out.
Yeah, that's their point.
Mm-hmm.
So Hodges ends up going and getting this, hypnosis regression therapy. And a statement pops out into his mind from these brains that apparently were communicating with him telepathically. And it says to take the time to understand yourselves. The time draws near when you shall need to. So I think that he initially remembered this statement during the missing time without any hypnosis. But that was just the statement that he remembered, which out of context sounds kind of confusing. And why does that even matter? So during the hypnosis regression, he ends up getting more of it and understanding where the context was and where it was spoken to him. Can you tell us about what he found in his hypnosis regression?
He found out quite a bit. He, of course, what you had just said, this telepathic message, they kept telling him, to get in touch with yourself because the day is coming when you're going to need this. And basically how all human beings have this quote power. I don't know what that power is. And that other planets have been destroyed because of you overusing this power. And he even flashed him images of, like I said, like planets exploding and nuclear explosions and just, all of these terrible, terrible things.
Yeah. And he said it was like flashing in his head. Like
just all
like
of these
television set, like flashing through
like all of these crazy, awful images.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So goes through all these but then he also explains like when he was in this craft, while he was receiving these telepathic messages.
What the craft looked like.
Did he go into what the actual room?
Well, he said that both that the walls were lined with these like computer consoles.
That's right.
But then he ended up saying later on that he wondered if the whole thing was some type of like holographic projection. The area behind the computer consoles was just like black, nothing. So he thought, well, maybe that's what it might have been.
Yeah.
So.
And then he'll eventually there are also other types of aliens there. Bald, gray, with thin lips, 7 feet tall, 6 webbed fingers and toes. So now he's starting to incorporate a lot of the, I don't even want to say common tropes, but the in itself, the brains is different. I mean, we don't really see a lot of floating brains.
Yeah.
But the idea of communication via telepathy, loss of time, and now he's bringing in more of a what do you call it? Stereotypical alien kind of, but then they have 6 fingers as opposed to, like, I've always imagined like 3 or 4.
Yeah, these have 6 with webbed.
They're all webbed.
So
now we're coming into just some different stuff as well.
Yeah.
So this story is really an amalgam of new ideas and old ideas. And I say ideas just because of you had these reoccurring themes throughout some of the abduction cases and the regression cases and stuff like that. And so this really brings a lot of it together. So,
and then he was convinced too that they had implanted some type of I can't think of what they call it, a translator, that enabled them to communicate with him telepathically all the time,
like Google Translate.
Well, kind of, Google Translate. Yeah.
So then he goes on again. They keep talking again more in depth about this power that people have, but then automatically translates this quote unquote power to some type of possible like nuclear repercussion.
Yeah.
Right. So the power, is it in your mind, like the power, like a special supernatural power, or the power to harness atoms or splitting, or
maybe like nuclear,
in
something in that sense,
nuclear devastation, circumstance.
Yeah. So we're not really sure what he meant by that. But maybe he doesn't know what exactly they meant by that.
Yep. Now they would go on to but go into kind of like predictions as to what was going on and how this power will affect it.
What's going to happen if you keep...
And they were shown a disastrous event that was to come in 1987. Now, this part of the story is kind of neither here nor there for me, because in the script that you wrote, it says that Hodges was shown a disastrous event that was to come in 1987.
Yeah.
Now, after that, it says many have concluded that this was Chernobyl.
Which was a year later.
That was the meltdown at Chernobyl. Now, if you're Hodges and you're shown pictures, wouldn't you say, yeah, that's Chernobyl? Now, even if you didn't know what Chernobyl was before Chernobyl happened, when Chernobyl happened, wouldn't you have said, oh, yeah,
that's it.
But that's not what was said.
Yeah.
People have guessed it as if it were some type of Nostradamus prediction.
Yeah.
So that's where this story has the quote unquote basis of any religion, thought, belief that has the power to carry on, is that it has a certain air of mystery to it, right? Let alone the floating brains, the mists of red, and the abduction with multiple webbed fingered things.
Yeah.
The predictions that the things had told him are kind of
vague.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't want to say misleading, but allows us to lead ourselves.
Yeah.
So you could put that power to anything. So for them, at that point in time, with nuclear things, Chernobyl was big. I mean, that's kind of been, besides Fukushima, I would probably say that's been one of the more
devastating,
newsworthy
to the earth,
nuclear events that's happened since, especially since 1971. Since Hiroshima, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
So of course you're going to just latch on to the only newsworthy things, because we haven't had really the use of nuclear weapons since then. And so the only thing we have left is, of course, the meltdown of Fukushima and Chernobyl. So, and of course, Chernobyl now is synonymous with just the worst that nuclear, I cannot say that word.
Yeah.
Nuclear power has to offer for us.
Yeah. This is the ultimate thing that can go bad.
Yep. All right. So what's next in this? Because I went on a tangent there. What's next that you wanted to cover?
I totally forgot now. I think it's interesting to note, though, that Hodges was the only one that underwent hypnosis to try to figure out what happened there.
Yeah. Their story just kind of loses right
Yeah,
away.
yeah. And so, why didn't, because they both saw them, in the driveway. So why didn't Rodriguez, I guess maybe he just didn't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it seems like after that 1970 hypnosis session, they kind of just fall off the map. Like there were never any more interviews with them. They never came out and talked about it.
Yeah.
After that. So who knows what happened to them?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like the creepiest part of this whole thing is, where are they?
That's true.
I mean, it could be nothing. They could be living happily in California somewhere.
Yeah. That was the end of the story. And
but
one of the final things about this story is one prediction that was made, and I feel like with me keeping on with the term prediction, I think I'm making that feel like some type of actual prediction. That's not what it is. It was like a warning to Hodges. So don't let me make you think that it's like that. It was just a series of hey, just to let you know, from these entities. The last one that he had during this experience didn't come true.
Yeah.
And that was that they claimed that a war would break out in 1983 in the Middle East, and it would spread through Europe, and it would end with the use of nuclear weapons. Obviously, that didn't happen in 1983, which, of course, with some of this vagueness with his story, and some people who just need to hang on to a story, some people think that maybe he misunderstood the timeline. Maybe it was, not, that just hasn't happened yet. Of course, that's the exact case with just about every Nostradamus prediction as well. That even if we give the benefit of the doubt that these things actually appeared to Hodges and Rodriguez, actually were abducted, and there were actually other things involved on this craft, that maybe things were wrong, maybe things were incorrect. But of course, if it didn't happen, then wouldn't that mean that the wardings of the things, the brains, were heated in a way?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they happened because we did something to fulfill what was needed to correct the timeline. And I refuse to get into an alternate timeline theory with this, because we could go on for days, and we're not going to do it today. But if one were to give you a warning, obviously the warning is either to give you a heads up to help save your butt, or it's to let you know to make changes in order to avoid said whatever. Yeah. So in this case, did we make the changes needed? Even though we still, I think though, because I just heard, actually, I'm gonna do a quick plug again. I think I've done it before. So Real Talk, Cults, Conspiracies, and the Paranormal. Excuse me, podcast. If you are not listening to them, you should. They've done a 3-part series over the past 3 weeks of warfare. I think they did biological, chemical, and then nuclear. They have done one with last week on the nuclear warfare, and they gave numbers. I hope they looked them up. I'm not citing them directly, but at least I'm going to take the same curve they did without giving specific numbers. But I believe we start out with a certain number of nuclear weapons in 5, which ramped up during the Cold War, and I believe we are on the downtrend of nuclear weapons. So maybe we did something in the timeline for these entities that we're trying to convey this issue to help stop that war in 1983. Of course, we're getting into the stuff with Iran now. So
what was the Berlin?
89.
Okay.
When it fell?
Yeah.
1989.
Okay.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear
down that wall. Yeah. Okay.
I hope that was Gorbachev.
Hi, Valerie. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
We got some people watching. I don't know if they're still watching or not. Grant, Alex, Danny, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
We are rambling by now, but short story.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I forgot too is that these tall, 7-foot, bald gray beings had told him that the brain or whatever you want to call them things, weren't a living thing. They were just kind of these little devices that enabled the tall gray aliens to communicate with human beings.
Yeah.
So they weren't actually like a living brain. They were just some kind of yeah.
Wouldn't you choose
like an Alexis or an Echo?
Something a little different.
That's what I thought too. Like I don't know.
If you have the technology to be able to send down another device to kind of house your voice for you, do you think you'd have the frame of mind to do some pre-research on something that would appear semi-normal to the things you were trying to communicate with?
Yeah. Or even just like a ball of light or something. I don't know. But a brain with a red orb?
Yeah. Which, again, I'm going to make the reference back to at Mars Attacks when they were sending in the alien.
But that was after this case, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So?
Well, I'm saying they couldn't have got it from the idea from the movie.
They didn't. No.
Yeah.
No, but I'm trying to give a reference on something that kind of reminded me of. Again, from that Mars Attacks, the aliens were trying to infiltrate.
Okay. That's scary.
They were trying to infiltrate. Was it the president? I don't remember that. I haven't seen it in a while, but they had an alien dressed up like a human woman. And it's, if you watch the movie, man, even today, like I still watch it, and the way they filmed it was fantastic to give you the heaves.
Huh.
You have to
watch it. Scene. Yeah.
And like the way she moves is like flowing when she walks, but it looks like she's hovering, but she's walking. And like the way her movements are clearly not human. And it's creepy as balls.
And they're trying to pass her off as human. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So that's what kind of want to remind me of is like these brains coming down.
Yeah.
And trying to communicate some freaking super awesome nerd
and
alien.
It just popped into my head that who the hypnosis session with Hodges.
Yeah.
Like you never heard from them either.
What? Oh, the actual
hypnotist. Yeah. I think that's odd too.
Yeah. How far up did you look in this case? How many references did you?
I looked at like 3 or 4, and they were all basically the same.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, not able to find out any more information beyond that.
Yeah. Which
I hate that because it's just like they leave you hanging.
There is another podcast called the Cryptonaut Podcast. I just subscribed to them today. They actually have their podcast up on YouTube, and they've actually done this story before.
Oh yeah.
I purposefully did not listen to it.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want to risk inadvertently stealing any of their information.
Oh yeah.
So probably Monday I'll start. That's the first time I've actually heard of that podcast. So probably Monday I will start listening to them because I drive a lot for work. So I tend to just fly right through podcasts. So
fly right through them.
So that seems right up my alley. So I'm going to check them out. I think it was episode 15 of theirs. They did this one, but like I said, I purposely did not want to listen just because I didn't want to inadvertently take something.
Yeah.
So maybe they have a little more than we do. But like we said, we're at about 33 minutes right now, and I'm kind of blanking on what else to talk about. Unless anybody in the chat has any questions.
Trista, hold on here. If I see exposed brains of any sort, I'm out of there. Right?
Yeah. No.
Where that's all gone.
Was there alcohol involved?
Well, see, and that's what, like, okay, 2 a.m., they leave this buddy's house. It's the 70s. They're in their late 20s. Come on now. Yeah, it's probably safe to bet that there was some type of.
But it's not for sure, though.
No, it is not for sure. It is not for sure.
Now, of course, I'm going to take for granted that I've been drunk plenty of times, and never once have I hallucinated.
A brain.
In my experience, in my well-versed experience of being drunk, I've never once hallucinated anything.
Yeah. I don't think I ever have either.
No, I've forgotten.
We all do that.
I forgot a lot of things while drunk,
but
I've never hallucinated anything.
So okay, maybe it's some type of drugs. I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Do you think that's a
but honestly, if you were hopped up on something, like Trista says, mushrooms or acid trip. Okay, so if you're hopped up on something, right? You're gonna know, okay, I'm seeing pink elephants probably because I'm taking this drug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be, you're gonna obsess over it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like he did, and then go get hypnosis.
Apparently, you've never known anybody that solely has delved into psychedelics before.
Wow.
They become extremely obsessed.
I have, but I mean, I do know people, but I don't know of that ever happening. They just be like, dude, I got really high and I saw pink elephants and purple bunnies.
Have you heard of
the
Clockwork Elves?
No.
No, I believe it has to do with Hiawatha. I could be wrong on that. I think it was Hiawatha. And I just read what Trista said. Not discrediting any accounts, but that could be a logical explanation.
Yeah. I'm not saying they were, but
yeah. Hiawatha, if I have the drug right, and I apologize if I don't, gives you
a
specific psychedelic trip.
Yeah.
That some people claim to see these entities that have been, and there was an author, I think, or a scientist that coined the term clockwork elves that everyone seems to experience while tripping on Hiawatha.
Yeah.
And so, like, this seems different though. Like, to have the same trip from two different people at the same time, that's kind of different. But then to have something like if you tripped and then I tripped and we both happened to see the same thing.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say.
That's kind of different. We weren't in the same room and we didn't see the same thing.
Yeah.
Much less driving in a car and seeing.
Yeah, you're both side by side.
Yeah.
You turn on the headlights and shablamo.
Yeah.
You're both seeing the same thing.
Which was a disembodied floating.
Yeah. So I would just tend to think that would be highly, highly astronomical coincidental.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, of course. You can never rule anything like that out.
Yeah.
I
can't stop yawning today.
Are you serious?
Woo! Can't stop it.
Woo! But yeah, I think it's still an interesting case.
By the way, did you ever record on the Reaper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I get no credit.
I
you
just
guys.
double check because I'm not in control of it anymore. I have my phone here, and that's all I've been doing.
That's all I do. I just sit here.
That's it.
Like her handy dandy puppet. Puppet.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do we have anything else we're going to talk about?
No, I think that's it.
If you happen to see floating brains in your neighborhood, watch out.
Didn't you want to talk a little bit about the band this week?
No.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, we never. We never did on the live.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
We have a schedule, and for some reason, she always gets confused on the schedule or routine every week, even though we've done it almost 30 times.
Well, no, I was trying to upload the little video here.
For what? Of what?
It's just a little video. All right, guys. Don't forget Tuesday. This full podcast will come out, so be sure you can catch us on we're on all the major podcast platforms now, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh no, we're not on Podbean.
I think Podbean is a host. I don't think it's a podcast.
Oh. So yeah, and YouTube also.
Just this week, we were accepted as Stitcher.
Oh yeah,
which, if you're listening on Stitcher, which we've had our first listen, we are accepted this week, and then our first listen this week. If you're listening on Stitcher, thank you for joining us. So if you started with the newest episode, hello, go back.
Hello.
And other than that,
yeah, I was going to say,
we're working on this thing. I'm trying to put together some type of giveaway format. We want to get everybody involved in some type of giveaway, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. And if anybody has any tips or tricks or suggestions on how exactly we can do this, essentially, we're decent on equipment. We need some things here or there. We could always upgrade because we do have dream goals, but those are pretty poor goals right now. Are just to broaden the listenership. So we've been working on marketing a little bit here and there, getting into some different podcasting groups, trying to get some promotion going on. So we want to get into some giveaways here. And what my initial thought was hopefully we can get everybody to go give us a review, both of the star review and maybe a written review of what you personally think. I don't want you to lie about it. I want you to give us your honest opinion. Honestly, though, any we can get, especially on Apple, is really helpful because, for one, their algorithms work like that. Over half of our listenership right now are listening to us on Apple Podcasts. And besides that, I'm not sure of any other platforms that really kind of handle reviews in the way they do.
Yeah.
I know that because I use CastBox on my phone, and they don't really have anything besides the community comments that show up, which is pretty sweet. But I don't think Stitcher does. I don't think Spotify does. And if I'm wrong, please, correct me. So the giveaway idea I had was some type of, you go on, give us a review, write something about us, and then screenshot it and send it to us, and we'll enter your name into a list.
A drawing.
Pick a random number, maybe for a T-shirt. I think I have a pop socket. I don't think we have it made yet, but I have it.
Oh, sweet.
I also have some
T-shirts. We could do Supernatural Tendencies podcast. I think we're going to do too. like we'll do something different every week. So like and it'll be announced, like maybe if you share the live discussion, or you share the podcast when it's posted, your name will be entered to win something for free.
Yeah.
Yay! Who doesn't like free?
But my issue is the other half of our listenership are not on Apple. So do you have access to Apple? Can you make an account in order to give us a review? Are you totally outed? So I don't know if I want to alienate the other half of our listenership just over our.
Oh, you don't have to have an iPhone to listen to Apple on your phone.
Yeah, I know, but would people find it interesting or of their interest rather for a t-shirt to go on apple.com or applepodcast.com just to create an account just to leave us a review for a freaking t-shirt?
Well, maybe.
So
it only takes 2 seconds. I mean,
no, because you need the email confirmation to set up.
Oh yeah, you do. That's right. I forgot. Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. We might do one as a test run. I'm sorry for you who, yes, Trista, I know you do. I just talked to my wife about that this week. So I will be getting with you. I promise. It's in my hands. It's not in her hands anymore. Things get done in my hands.
Oh, my hands?
Yes. Things go get done. She's been telling you have a t-shirt coming for like what, a year now? She hasn't given you a shirt. Yeah, her old Bigfoot shirt that she was bitching about.
I forgot.
Yep, she didn't go out and get her shirt.
Wow.
Anyway, so I will be. I want to put the call to action this week to have you go on and share us. So we did the call to action 2 weeks ago that we didn't re-up last week when it was still full, well and good. If you invite 10 people to the group, was it?
Yeah.
If you invite 10 people to the Supernatural Tendencies podcast group to help us get involved with them there, we just do some spooky stuff there, and we put out some reading material 3 times a day, some pictures, some gifts and stuff.
Some awesome memes.
If you want to get involved with the group, I think we're 500 people.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Just a good old time sharing some stuff. A good old time. If you want to shout out on the podcast the next week, invite 10 people and have them get in the group, and we keep an eye on it. And we'll give you a shout out. But also, like I said, if you get on Apple and you give us write us a review, let me know. Send me a screenshot via the podcast. Email me at go for it. What is it?
Post it on the wall in the group. Screenshot it, post it on the wall in the group.
What's the email?
supernatural10@gmail.com.
Email me a screenshot of that email address, and I will write your name down for when I fully have the idea hedged out. Just so I don't forget you. There are 2 on there now. I think there are 5 altogether. I'll have to figure out who the other 3 are. But yeah, if you're interested in a free whatever, I don't know yet, then give us a like and a review.
We'd sure appreciate it.
I would very much appreciate it. Is that it?
I think that's it.
All right. Well, here we go.
Be sure to check out the podcast on Tuesday, guys. We will see you later.
Now later.